Councilman Giarrusso present, Councilmember Moreno present, Councilmember Williams present. We have a quorum.
Ms. Spears, thank you very much. This committee, thank you everybody for joining us. This committee gives us a really, really exciting opportunity to do several aspirational and cutting-edge things, but the real gains are the ability to spotlight investments that are being made that will have a significant impact on augmenting the New Orleans workforce. Next, we will hear from, and I want to say we've been joined by Councilmember Nguyen. Thank you for joining us, and Councilmember Brosette. Welcome. Next, we will hear from David Lamouranne, founder of Green Coast Coatings, about cool roofs and how this innovation can be used to increase energy efficiency in New Orleans. David, come on up. As I said before, this committee gives us an opportunity to be aspirational, which is something you just don't get in government. You certainly don't get it in city government, and you really don't see it on the national level or state level as well. Really looking beyond the fires that are burning today and this week, but looking at where we want to be in the next 10 years. David, welcome. And I'll give you a couple minutes to get set up. I will say we just finished a very robust conversation with the community about where we get power from, what the sources are, how much renewables our portfolio can handle without overburdening a poor community with big bills. And I believe that demand side measures such as cool roofs, like you're about to talk about, are one such example of how tech can empower our ratepayers. So welcome, David.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, City Council members, and a special thanks to Jason Williams, Chair of the Committee on Smart Cities and Sustainability. It's wonderful to know New Orleans is embracing cutting-edge technology to create a more sustainable future. Hi, my name is David Lamouranne. My company, Green Star Coatings, has coated more than 1.5 million square feet of roofs to date. Councilman Williams is leading the bandwagon to apply new technologies to solve long-standing problems, and the latest in technology is what I hope to bring to this environmental conversation, specifically cool roofs. For the official record, today's session on our changing climate was originally scheduled for January 31st and was canceled due to dramatic shifts in weather, which resulted in flights being canceled and delayed across the country. To those, I thank you for joining us today. New Orleans City Plan has identified several of our top environmental priorities, including flood protection and water management. Everyone who lived through Katrina understands the real dangers of rising seas and coastal erosion. But what about increased ozone emissions and rising air temperatures? International climate scientists are predicting average worldwide temperatures will increase by 2 degrees in the next 2 decades. Anyone who has walked around in the CBD at midday in July knows downtown is much hotter than the suburbs or the lakefront. Heat literally radiates off the asphalt pavements, buildings, and the rooftops. New Orleans is hot and is going to get hotter. Investments in green infrastructure projects to mitigate rising temperatures must be part of the city's master plan. New Orleans is the 15th hottest city in the U.S. Louisiana averages 35 days a year when heat exceeds dangerous levels. By 2050, the state is projected to have an average of nearly 115 danger days a year. Hotter days lead to more incidents of heat stress and heat exhaustion. Air conditioners work harder, which places higher demands on our aging power grid and increases electric bills, as to what you were speaking when we began. The master plan states in 6A to mitigate urban heat island through the targeted planting of trees. Trees are great, but there is a quicker, more effective way to diminish heat islands. What is a heat island anyway? A heat island is a warm bubble of air in an urban area where significantly more heat is absorbed, retained, than radiated long after sunset. The Environmental Protection Agency states that urban areas are often between 9 and 27 degrees hotter than rural areas. Heat islands cause excessive air conditioning cost, water usage, air pollution, increased greenhouse gas emissions, and increased health problems, including higher mortality rates for elderly people and those with respiratory and cardiovascular illness. In 1995, 739 people died in Chicago during a heat wave. Surprising to me, 15,000 people died in France in 2003. So what can be done about it? Applying cool roofs, which are highly reflective and remain 50 to 80 degrees cooler in the summertime than roofs made with traditional materials. It also has the ability to increase the efficiency in solar panels. Can't be done? Los Angeles reduced temperature in its urban area by 4 degrees through mandating cool roofs in a program called Title 24. Developed in the 80s and perfected in the 2000s, this seamless, monolithic coating also reduces wind damage and resists ponding water, so that roofs rarely need to be replaced. Cool roofs not only instantly reduce the need for cooling, but directly reduce the millions of tons of unnecessary waste in our landfill, as 10 million tons of non-biodegradable asphalt ends up in them. Cool roof technology passively reflects heat, making interiors 10 to 30 degrees cooler and reducing energy consumption by as much as 30%. Other smart cities adopting cool roof technology include Boulder, San Francisco, LA, Houston, and New York City. New York's Cool Roof program is a city initiative with the goal of reducing carbon emissions by 80% by the year 2050, and extends grants to nonprofits, cultural centers, and recreation centers, hospitals, as well as schools. New York has coated more than 9.2 million square feet of rooftops in 9 years, exceeding their goal. Analysis shows that Los Angeles residents could save at least $30 million per year by adopting cool roofs on new and existing businesses. Cool roofs are highly effective, preserving the original roof so it can be repaired, restored, never to be thrown in a landfill again. In that sense, a cool roof is truly renewable and sustainable, as our core philosophy is one roof for life, which flies in the face of traditional roofing of replacing roofs every 20 years. Some of my clients include Louis Armstrong International Airport, Entergy's hangar, John Deere, over 250,000 square feet, General Electric, iconic locations such as the Howlin' Wolf, protecting the horses at the New Orleans Fairgrounds and the ferry landing. Cool roofs are a practical solution I have been applying for years, but can only do so much in New Orleans alone. Who better than New Orleans to lead the way in Louisiana, like that of Los Angeles, and mandate cool roofs on all new construction, or, like New York, by subsidizing cool roofs for the common good? We are in a position to create our own program unique to our own. It's our time to get smart and positively take steps to combat our changing climate. I implore the City Council to incorporate cool roofs into the master plan. That's my cool idea.
Thank you very much, David. Council Vice President was stating that she wished she had known about this before she finished her renovation in her home. This is not only a cool idea, but it is addressing a concern that will be affecting this country and certainly affecting one of the hottest cities in this country moving forward. We have a lot of flat ground. We have a lot of concrete, which only makes our heat index even higher. Thank you for that wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
I did have a couple of questions for you. How's this being used in other jurisdictions that you know of that are similar to ours?
In regards to?
Just, I mean, can you think of any instances, places, whether it's in Los Angeles or Arizona, not necessarily places that are close to us? I'm just wondering what other iterations you've seen.
It's pretty much, it's a very simple concept. It's a white roof coating that goes down. The day it goes down, it starts working that day. So it's not, we have to field test it and see results and get data back. Yes, they do that, but the day it goes down is the day it works, whether you're in New York, Los Angeles, or New Orleans.
And are there any barriers to making this option available to more people? Does it only work on certain roofs? What's the prep that needs to happen before you get to that point, or is it pretty much anybody that wants it can benefit from this?
It can work on both metal and flat roofs. Yes, there is prep needed if the roof is, say, rotten underneath, if the wood has termite damage. Some of the necessary things would need to take place for a sound substrate, but as long as the substrate has been repaired, it does not have to be torn off, and it can be applied to, again, both metal and flat roofs.
Beautiful. And I assume, let me let Councilmember Giarrusso.
Thank you. I think Mr. President's probably getting to this, but can you talk to us a little bit about cost in terms of just average citizen, what it would look like?
Absolutely. So the cost to replace a roof is about $10 to $15. When you don't have to do that, our cost for installation is between $3 and $5. So we're instantly about half the price of roof restoration.
$3 to $5 per square foot.
Correct.
Okay. And then when you talked about other cities and they've implemented it, they put it into their building codes?
Yes, they are. In fact, I have Mr. Joe Sorrentino here. He's a representative from the Sherwin-Williams Corporation, and he would probably be better to answer that question as far as building codes in other cities.
Mr. Sorrentino, welcome.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Dave, thank you for inviting me. Yes. Jason, your question in regard to other cities. The city of Phoenix started on a cool roof initiative a long time ago, a couple decades. They started to realize that white in a desert tan area wasn't as effective as desert tan colors in a desert tan area. In the state of Arizona, Arizona State University has been doing a lot of modeling. The reality of it is that the shrubs that they expect to put in are very difficult to maintain. You put them in today, and in 25 years in a downtown urban area, they're not like if they're out in a suburban area. So that's the challenge. Let's see, you asked some questions in regard to costs. A very prominent, difficult scenario of a chicken processing plant with conventional roofing issues, meaning two roofs in place, so building code says remove both. In today's world, with infrared technology and new technology available, that 120,000 square foot facility only required less than 3,000 square foot to be removed and taken to the dump. The owner actually saved $12.50 a square foot, or $1.5 million on one project. The reality of it is this doesn't work everywhere, but where it works, it's very cost effective, and it's definitely very environmentally safe. So with that, I say thank you for the opportunity. We've presented to the City of Denver. If there's any other additional information you would like, we'd be happy to be here and support Green Star and yourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. Also, Vice President Moreno.
Just a quick question. Have you seen city governments in other parts of the country do cool roofing on any of their public buildings?
I'm going to defer to Jim.
Yes. The City of Orlando has been on a quote-unquote green initiative. The quote-unquote is because legalese says don't call something green if it's not literally green. So we try to talk about the definitions of theoretical and practical. The tough part is that the City of Orlando decided to do most of this in-house. Very difficult to train technicians working on projects, very short periods of time compared to the process that Dave described in regard to the buildings. But yes, many cities have looked at this and utilized it. In Santa Ana County, every building, public and private, is expected to be white.
Wow, interesting. I'd be interested to see some of the cost savings that some of these cities have been able to realize based on this cool roofing. So if you could, send me some of that information down the road, I'd appreciate it.
Everybody asks that magical question, how much do we save? The cities and, candidly, the individuals that are involved in these decisions are very strapped for time. They're not interested in what other people are interested in, unfortunately, which are the costs. So it becomes very difficult on the public side to share that. On the private side, there's many people who are willing to share what they've been able to save. I'd be happy to go back and ask some questions for you, Helena, but that's been, unfortunately, the reality to it.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that, any city that's putting in place the cool roofing, that they'd actually want to get that information out to the taxpayers, that they're actually saving money on some of these public buildings. So I think that that's actually really important information to get out there.
It is. There is one school district in Las Vegas that had a very eloquent and detailed program as it related to not only preventive maintenance and increased service life, but also reflectivity for energy savings. Hillsborough County Schools right now is in a major initiative, actually just passed a 1-cent tax because they need money to take care of all of their schools. They utilize these white reflective sustainable programs that David described, as well as conventional systems where it can't go on. So I'll be happy to try to gather some info for you. But the reality to it is that we talk cliche-wise how to maximize your roofing budget and minimize your roofing cost by the example that I shared, where in one case it was very dramatic. The key is the sustainability. In the city of Denver, before they went into their green roof initiative, they actually allowed myself to come in and speak to the Roof Consultant Institute about the sustainability process, predominantly because people have been purchasing roof warranties for over 30 years now. They've gone through another progression from originally just roof bonds, which did not cover contractors' labor, to now labor and material warranties in various year terms. But did you hear the last word, term? The sustainability to fluid applied systems, or the ability to continue to restore that roof because of how lightweight it is and because of the initial process. That's where owners have seen a tremendous advantage, especially not as much, of course, on the public side, but on the private side where buildings are transferred and warranties are very critical. So thank you for allowing me to share that.
Joseph and David, thank you very much. I look forward to talking to you more offline to see where we might be able to find some savings on some of our city-owned structures when we get to the point that we've got to take issues with the roof. Why not do it smarter?
Thank you, Councilman Williams.
Thank you both very much.